Hello, Victor Echo Chuzulu Delta X-ray here. Uh, Let me turn down this just a bit. I'm here at the top of a building, uh, trying to get some DX. Alright, so I'm recording this video because it's something that I always wanted to know, but I could never find someone telling how it was, which is how it's like doing amateur radio on buildings. So recently I moved to a building where I have a very good height and a very good view from my balcony, so I'm able to deploy an antenna and do some DX, some QSOs, right? And I also have access to the top of the building, which is pretty cool. So before moving in, I always wanted to know about the QRM levels and this kind of stuff, and that's exactly what I'm going to tell you. So the QRM levels are surprisingly good. I mean, I live way up above of the power lines, and on SSB the QRM level stays at around 5 S5, and during the night it skyrockets, right? It goes up to 9. I think it's normal anywhere, even on homes as well, right? But I was expecting it to be always S9 and everything. But yeah, on SSB I can do some pretty great contacts. I participated in the ARL CW contest, and I was able to get Japan, China, things like that, and copying them actually well, right? And, anyway, I'll just link the video. I recorded the video, which was for myself, but I decided to make it public so you can see for yourself how it is operating on the on apartments. Unfortunately, I only recorded CW, but you can find as well some SSB QSOs. It is possible. It's possible when you actually have a good copy. But you do feel the QRM, and you do feel like a sort of RF shielding. You know, like how can I explain this? It's kind of hard to explain, but you know that there is a huge pile up, but when you go on the frequency of the pile up, you don't hear the pile up. You hear only the very strong signals. Although the QRM levels, like on CW especially, it's S1 or 0, S0, the QRM level. Even though the QRM level is low, you only hear the strong stations. You don't hear the weak stations, right? So there is some shenanigans going on that I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the QRM level is high, but the radio is doing some tricks that it doesn't show in the S meter, but you're listening to a signal with high QRM, but the radio doesn't show in the S meter. I think that's what's going on. But it's possible to do some jacks. I've been positively surprised. And another thing that you feel, in my case, I'm using a vertical antenna on my balcony, and the band that it performs the best is 10 meters, because I'm able to fully extend, not use coils, right? Whenever you use coils on antenna, you kind of lose some of our RF power, right? It's always better to not use coils, transformers, or this stuff, right? The simpler the better. So when I'm using 10 meters, I'm able to fully extend, and the counterpoises, the radios that I put on the antenna have the length for 10 meters, so I have the ideal condition for 10 meters, right? Flat SWR, everything, the radios, and a reasonable ground plane for the vertical. When I go in the lower bands, like on 28 megahertz, fine. When I go to 21, I started to feel the loss. You see that people don't copy you as well as they would on 10 meters. You do feel the lack of ground plane, you know, that you feel a lot. The lack of ground plane, a proper ground plane. Since I'm using a vertical antenna, and for vertical antennas, ground plane is very important, you do feel it. You know that they say a vertical antenna without radios is basically a dumb load, right? In many cases, that's not the case, because some people deploy their antennas. They think they don't have a ground plane, but they deploy on a metal pipe or on a metal stair, right? In some metallic structure that's doing the grounding for them. They don't realize, right? But yeah. Anyway, so you do feel that when I go to 20 meters, I start to feel a lot. When I go to 40, only big gun stations like beaming to me can copy me. So that I feel a lot. Here on the top of the building, actually I have not spent much time here because it's been super cold and windy. Not only that, I see that thunderstorms, so I should not be here on thunderstorms. I would actually be asking to to be hit by a lightning. But anyway, so what I've been bringing here is the end-fed antenna, right? What I do is that in one of these columns here, in these posts, I put my fishing rod, and I just deploy a vertical end-fed antenna, right? That's what I'm doing. That's what you're hearing here right now. But anyway, yeah, so it's possible. I've been positively surprised by the results, right? But in the field, it's still better. The QRM levels and everything, you can actually hear the weak signals. Yeah. So that's it. I hope it was useful to you. And remember, right, antennas are system. The conditions that happen to me might not necessarily happen to you. So if you're using this video as a reference, I don't know if you're moving and you're using this as the factor that decides if you move to a building or not, don't do that, because antennas are system. I guess not many people understand that, and the conditions that are good for me might not be good for you. Just be aware of that. But that's it. Hope this video was useful and hope to catch you on the air. Bye bye.